Welcome back, guys. Gotta say, this one caught me off guard. I had no idea until the dev server dropped that we were getting Swedish aircraft. You know, this opens up the door to a lot of new aircraft, and I think it's going to be awesome because I think a lot of these aircraft are something people are looking forward to. I know I kind of am now. I didn't expect it, like I said, so something completely new. But for now, we have the J29. This plane's often called the Tunnan, which I guess translates to the flying barrel. This is one ugly-ass plane. I'm sorry, I think it's ugly. But it's really not a bad plane. It took me a little bit to get used to this. This is a very unique aircraft. It's actually quite competitive, and when I first flew it, I wasn't too excited until I realized that it has a few perks. So right off the bat, I figured out the top speed on this aircraft is well, it's airframe limited. The wings will rip at 1050 kilometers an hour. That's not that fast. That's at least it's comparable when it comes to an 8.7. So you're not any faster, any slower than any other 8.7 aircraft. Your acceleration is not amazing, but it's good enough. Now your top end acceleration is actually better than some Sabres. The problem is you don't have the top speed to outrun them, so you kind of have to plan everything very carefully. Now I play this aircraft. I generally try and grab a little bit at altitude just because I don't have that speed. I don't want everybody diving on me, but I'll tell you what, this aircraft actually maintains energy pretty damn well. So we grabbed a little bit of altitude at the first of this match and trying to save on the fuel. I usually take 20 minutes of fuel, but I'll be honest, I've been starting to take 26 minutes of fuel just because teams, they're all over the place right now. So we're in the dive, we're in a compression zone. You can see there's a little bit here, but this compression is actually really nice for this aircraft because it maintains energy. If it's not pulling so hard, it's not bleeding that speed. So I'm able to maintain a decent speed. Now, it's not super fast, but it actually, when it gets around to the 700 kilometer an hour range, it's fairly easy to maintain that speed. So we just made a full 180 turn, come back around. We got a nice slow Super Mystere. We got a MiG-17, two MiG-17s, completely not paying attention. Managed to pop one, and that is one down. Now, the Super Mystere starts pulling towards me. I thought I might be able to land a shot. Going a little bit too fast, so at this point, just drop off and move on. He is going straight up. I guarantee he's not going to get his speed back anytime soon. I'm still doing a reasonable speed, and I definitely have an advantage over these guys that I'm fighting, so I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive here. We're going to try and take him out. I want to help my teammate. Looks like he's got the advantage right now, but we take a couple shots, and this is probably one of my few complaints about this aircraft, and I didn't realize this is a big deal, but having the under-the-nose mounted guns, it's actually throwing off my aim a little bit. It's honestly like I've been low. I've been shooting low on almost every target, and it's killing me, especially when I get into low speed shots where I plan my approach. And you don't have a lot of maneuverability when you're really slow, so you really have to plan out carefully. And I've missed so many shots that way. But this time, looks like a couple of them might have sparked, but it's enough to damage him, and I don't think he's pulling out of that one. So we'll call that kill 2. Give it a couple seconds. There it is. 2 down. So we came out of that fight with a little bit less speed than we came in, and that's not a big deal. We're going to drop our nose here and grab a little bit more. Got the Super Mystere coming at me. He looks kind of slow. I'm going to pop the head on. And actually, it looks like he goes straight up, so this is an opportunity. I try and air brake a little bit. Now, the air brake is absolutely pointless in this aircraft, but it's enough to get inside this turn. That is now kill 3. Super Mystere, really not an issue with this plane because it maintains energy pretty well. Now, here we go with the G91. The G91's top speed is respectable, but his top end acceleration is absolutely horrible. Not really hard for me to catch this aircraft, and he looks like he's running at this point. We're going to chase him for a little bit. He starts doing a couple turns to hopefully dodge my shots. Now, I am really honestly kind of worried about overshooting these aircraft because when they get behind me, it's kind of a big deal. But he has been air braking, so he is extremely slow now. I have no reason I can't go up. So I'm just going to go up. Since I know he's very slow, he will never touch me. I will come back down behind him and hopefully get the kill, but it looks like I got a hunter coming in. So now we got to switch targets. Grab a little bit more speed since I'm slow, dodge the hunter's shot, and then just keep moving. So I'm a little slow. Like I said, I'm not going to fight a hunter when I'm at this speed. Got an F-86K coming in. Doesn't look like he's a threat at the moment, and he is ignoring me. So I just extend a little bit, grab some speed. Here comes another G91. Going for the head-on. We line up. Make sure to break off by 1 kilometer, so we pop our shot and get off. Looking for his turns, because G91s have really good roll rate. He could try and pop me in a head-on, so I just get out of that as soon as I can. We go ahead and make this turn. I come out of the vertical. Still doing almost 700 kilometers an hour. Not bad at all for this aircraft. Hunters trying to take the head-on. Well, that didn't work too well. F86K, not going to turn for him. Now I got the same old G91 again. We're going to chase him a little bit more. And look, like I said, it's not that hard to catch him. G91s just don't have the top end acceleration. So if there's a G91 behind you, you have to be careful, like I say, with this aircraft because the air brake doesn't do jack. So if you want someone to overshoot you, you are going to have to back off on the throttle. You'll see that a little bit more with some of the footage that I present. I honestly, I try my hardest to avoid a defensive flying situation in this aircraft just because it maintains energy pretty well. So if you fly smartly, it's not a big deal. But when you do get in that defensive situation, it's tough. It really is. Like I said, air brake, don't rely on it. It just does. I've been flying around and I was doing 800 kilometers an hour straight and level on the deck, and I'm like, why am I not accelerating any faster? It's because I have my air brake out, and because it's on the front of the plane, I forget about it. I don't notice it. I don't see it. So something to keep in mind, like I said, you can be down, going straight down in a dive, zero throttle and the air brake out, and it's not going to slow you down. In fact, you still accelerate. So zero throttle, well, don't do zero throttle because of the engine lag, but like I said, just be conscious of your throttle. Sat here, I was wondering what the hell this guy was doing, and then I realized it was a bot. Oh well. But this puts it down to one last aircraft left. Now this is an F86K. Honestly, the 86K has a lot of power in a vertical. It's not very maneuverable, but this is when I started realizing just how good this aircraft actually is. So we're going to fast forward just a little bit here. So now we're up at altitude. We're up at 6,000 meters, which is relatively high for this aircraft, and it's relatively high for any 8090 match. And so the F86K has an afterburner. It has really good power. It's generally pretty good at stall fighting MiGs, at least getting them to stall. Now maneuverability definitely sucks on the plane. So he's diving out right now, and I know that I cannot do anywhere near his top speed, so I just kind of back off a little bit. I'm just shallowing out my dive. That way if I need it, or if he pulls straight up again, I can catch him, or at least hopefully I can catch him. And this kind of surprised me. So he's running just a little bit, and I'm not going to say that this was a dumb move, because if I was in an F86K, I would probably do the same exact move that he just did. So he starts pulling up, and I'm not catching him right now. I'm really not. But I see that he's pulling up, and so I hit the afterburner. I start climbing just a little bit, just kind of following his dot in the clouds, and we're just going to kind of lurk him. I don't know if he can see me or not. And like I said, I don't think this is a bad move. I'm not going to talk anything bad about this player. But he goes up. And so right now, I can't really see him. I think he's still pulling away from me, so I back off the throttle just a little bit. I'm trying to maintain my speed best as I can. Yep, he is definitely pulling away from me now. So about the only move that he has is to try and get to the top of his turn and start rolling over, kind of an Inelman maneuver. And that's exactly what he does. And he's 2.5 kilometers away from me almost. So I just pop the afterburner and I go straight up inside his turn. And this kind of amazed me. This aircraft does pretty good. And I'm able to get close enough to pop a shot. And of course, so these guns, they're not Aiden's, but they feel just like Aiden's. Might be a little bit of laziness on Gaijin's part. I think they're supposed to be faster, but he's done. I just followed him straight up to, well, I got to 8,000, or sorry, I got 7,000 meters. He got to 8,000, and that was it. I'm mildly impressed. And a lot of people have been telling me that this aircraft does really good at high altitudes, but I'll tell you what, I've noticed the top speed is definitely poor at altitude. I'm not sure what exactly is going on, but I think this plane is actually Mach speed limited instead of IAS limited at altitude, which I think is not correct. But I have to do some more testing on that one. So, anyways, we're going to move on a little bit. I'm just trying to piece together a couple clips to show you just what this aircraft is capable of. And I thought this one was actually a really good one. You see, I dove down from a pretty decent altitude, and I have decent speed right now. And I come in and I pop a bullets at these guys. The guns, obviously, they don't let me down. 4 Aidens. Okay, they're not Aidens, but yes, they're Aidens. Sorry, let's just tell what it is. But this aircraft, look at this. I'm turning. I'm full elevator right now. Yes, I'm compressing, but look at the speed that I'm maintaining. That Sabre, I really have not had any issues fighting Sabres with this thing. Now, an A5 can be cancer because it actually turns really well, but that thing bleeds speed so hard. Now, MiGs, if a MiG wants to air brake you, you're pretty much done. I'm going to say that right now. Unless you can somehow dump enough speed to force him to overshoot, But look at this, the Saber, I just kind of pull up behind him. I have to drop the throttle a little bit, pop the air brake. I outturn him. There's nothing he can do. It's a fairly easy kill when I get behind a Saber. MiGs, if I'm behind him, it's not too bad. Like I say, the guns work. But when they are behind you, like I said, if they air brake you, chances are you're toast because you don't really out-accelerate them. But look at that. I mean, I really didn't lose a whole hell of a lot of speed through that fight. I'm coming out. I'm golden. That was, what, a 2-on-3, something like that? I don't know. I had some help. But I came out with a lot of speed, and that says a lot about this aircraft. I like it. I do. I really do. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up, at least for the commentary portion. Now, this aircraft, in a nutshell, has very good energy retention. It has very respectable turn rate. Like I say, the guns are very good. Now, they're a little bit slow because they're Aidens, so you have to lead them just a little bit. But there's 4 of them. They work. I don't have any issues with the guns at all. Something you really have to consider, though, is the lack of a top speed on this aircraft. Like I say, it does rip at 1050, and that can be an issue, but I'll be honest, I haven't actually ripped it from overspeeding yet. It gives you plenty of time, plenty of opportunities to pull out of the dive. You know, it's very, very actually hard to rip, very hard to do 1050 in the first place. So with that in mind, it's not that bad. Overall, though, like I said, love this aircraft. Right now, is there any reason to buy it? Honestly, not really, unless you're just a collector, because there's really nothing to research in the Swedish tree. But I'm sure we'll see more aircraft coming soon. They're obviously going to be working on it. But as for now, this is just a collector's item. I'm sure, you know, a couple months we'll see a bunch of Swedish aircraft. But if you got the $50 and you want to collect this aircraft, I'd say it's worth it. But as of right now, there's really no point in buying it. But anyways, in my fashion, like I said, I can't win every match, and this is one of the matches that I did fail. Unfortunately, my team crumbled, and I just couldn't handle all these people at once. But I think this footage right here is a really good testament. Shows how the aircraft performs, especially in a really poor situation, which is what transpired here. And like I said, I'm going to do a little bit more on this aircraft, probably later. Like I say, when we get more information on it. I'm still a little bit undecided on how to face each aircraft, so I can't really give you guys a full-on tutorial yet. But it'll come soon. Anyways, you're going to see me fail quite a bit in this match. But the aircraft, like I say, it still demonstrates it very well. You'll see how I miss a lot of shots because of the guns being low on the nose. It throws me off. But this was a very, very fun loss. I don't usually say that, but it definitely kept me on my toes the whole time. So, alright guys, well if you have any questions, let me know. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys around. Thanks a lot.